Hey everyone, and welcome to the Coworking Cuppa, a weekly show where we talk about co-working things, small business development things, and also occasionally get to feature our members. So I'm Nicole. I own Anchorspace, coming to you from a remote location today. And what's really fun is it's the new year. I think we all feel a new energy or want to. And so I wanted to invite Anchorspace member Patti here to talk to us about energy and the stuff that she does for work. So Patti, thanks so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It looks so cozy where you're at. I feel like I should just like get some coziness going on behind me. So Patti, why don't you tell people a little bit about like your business and what you do and how you work with people?
So my business is Phoenix Moon Energy, and I am a Reiki practitioner and tarot reader. So I meet with clients privately, and I do this energy work to help promote wellness and guidance through confusing or difficult times. I work a lot with a lot of people on personal growth. That's kind of the
confusing and difficult times. Nobody who lived through 2020 would know how to identify with that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. I had a few random questions today, but if we go other places, that's totally fine too. But So one of the things that I wanted to ask you, and probably people, so you're in tune with the universe, and things feel different. I know, different years. So what kind of energy can we expect here in 2021 as we start a new year? But I know that energetically things were starting to shift maybe before January 1st too, right?
Yeah. It's not like there's a switch that flips on the calendar new year.
Right.
Yeah. So 2020, I like to think of it as like 2020 kind of was an inciting incident, right? We've through the past few decades have made progress through societal and global shifts in energy, making progress, social justice, that sort of thing. And a lot of that came to light and kind of came to a climax in 2020. And I think the pandemic was a inciting incident that kind of made us stop and recognize a lot of things that are wrong and or that aren't going right. And 2021, I think, is kind of the recovery from that. And so if you think of like, this is probably not a great example, but if like when there's like an explosion, right? There's those moments right afterwards where it's like you're getting your bearings. You can't really like, there's like, in movies when there's an explosion and there's like that ringing sound and that silence of just like, what is happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of get your bearings and stand back up, and then you keep going. So I feel like 2020 was that moment of like, we were all kind of knocked on our rear ends. We had to sit down and take stock of where we are, not only personally in our own lives, but also in our communities and in relation to each other. And we've kind of been in this period of like getting our bearings and figuring it out and not having any idea of what the world is going to look like on the other side. And so I feel like 2021 is that getting up and moving forward. Everyone's been talking about the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction
everyone's been talking about
it. So on the solstice, actually, December 21st, there was as some people have been calling it like the Bethlehem star, even though it's
like it was especially bright, and of course where I was it was cloudy, so I couldn't even see it anyway.
Right. And actually it's two planets that were coming into conjunction. There's no star.
Right.
But it's really exciting. It doesn't happen very often, and what this is doing is setting the tone. Jupiter and Saturn were in conjunction in the sign of Aquarius. So that is setting the tone actually for the next 20 years. So we're in like we're kind of on the precipice of a really long shift into a new world, essentially, which is probably not new to folks who have been living through 2020. So I think 2021, there's going to be a lot of innovation, a lot of progress in terms of technology. These are all characteristic of the sign of Aquarius. There's going to be a lot more focus on the community instead of ourselves. I think in the past, we have the tendency, and I think especially in American society, we tend to really be focused on ourselves and what we're doing. And I think we're shifting into more of our community, right? It's not just what we do for ourselves, it's what we do for the community. And it's a lot more of a collective progress forward.
That makes a ton of sense. And I know that I saw this really, one of my colleagues was doing a series of interviews of people who run co-working spaces around the world. And one of the people in Italy, I think he said, we basically should have been innovating the last 10 years, but we made all the innovations we needed to in the last 10 months. You know what I mean? To get here. And I think probably a lot of people watching this who run businesses in particular probably really feel this and this movement and this new world that we're all going to be operating in. Because I think at first we were all thinking, okay, when this is over. And now we're seeing like, okay, this is going to fundamentally change kind of how we schedule our work days, how we run our businesses, how we, sell our products and services, that kind of thing. So, and actually the community thing's a good segue. So Patti is a member of Anchorspace, and I didn't, and we were talking and I guess I didn't realize this was my idea, by the way. When you said like you came up with it, I was like, oh, really? I don't remember. I love a good marketing thing, obviously. So I think the thing with Reiki, at least for me, I'm like I am not a Reiki practitioner myself. Patti's a Reiki master. That's why she's talking to us today. But I know I was thinking, okay, like I don't want to go to this person's house I don't know, and I don't know what's going to happen. Like, so I was talking to Patti, and I thought it would be really great to like just have people, they know where Anchorspace is, they can come in, they can have a shorter session. So tell us a little bit about how Reiki Fridays work, and then I'll put we took this great picture of Patti here that I got to put on the screen here because it is fantastic. Oh, there it is, right here.
I love that room too. It's just so much fun.
So like Patti brings her table and she set, like I went in for my session and I was like, oh my God, like, is this my office? Like you like transformed it. It was so relaxing in there. I was like, I've never been more relaxed in my office before, but yeah. So Patti brings in everything. She's got accessories. She's got her table. Like she is like masked. We're all safe and masked up, and Patti's ready to, I should say I'm masked up. I'm not actually helping. It's all Patti. So yeah. So Patti, tell us a little bit about the Reiki Friday offering at Anchorspace for those people who might be interested, and I'll put it on the screen in case people want to poke around a little more.
So yeah, Reiki Fridays. I mean, what better way to start your weekend, really, honestly. And I like that it's, right in downtown Potsdam. So if folks want to jump over on their lunch break, come in. And I don't usually offer half-hour sessions, but I think the setup for Reiki Friday half-hour sessions are a nice little, like, it's just a little teaser. It's a little treat.
Kind of see if you like it.
Yeah. And but it's also like enough to give you a nice little boost of relaxation. And I find that it's really nice because Reiki really clears a lot of stuck energy. That's what it is. It's moving the energy in your body. And so it's I don't know, it's like taking a nice shower in the middle of the day, an energetic shower,
or like a nap, or a nap, but it's like, I will say after you worked on me, I was like, I did feel like a lot more generative and stuff after. I was like, oh, like, okay. And I think I was super stressed out right before the holidays for those people who weren't there and I was like, all right, Patti, I need a session. And I like went into her room and I was like, okay, I kind of needed that apparently. Who knew? and maybe other people do too. So
And your
yeah.
session was only a half hour, but you got
but it was lovely. It was like a little but a cat nap, but I wasn't like groggy afterward. It was just like,
right.
because sometimes that's what, when I'm napping, I want to just keep going. But that was like, it was relaxing, but also energizing. It was weird.
It clears.
I mean, I don't mean to say your stuff is weird. I just meant I didn't know that was a thing. So yeah.
It's almost like after a good workout too. Like you're not tired. If for those who are energized after working out, it's like it clears things up a little bit. Removes the fogginess and cobwebs, and it also, when we, it's often recommended when you're really stressed out or kind of stuck on something to like walk away and do something else, especially in creative fields, writer's block. It's like you just leave it, step away, do something else, and it gets other things flowing and ideas moving.
Yeah, and Patti also does these sessions over Zoom. So if you're not physically near Potsdam, New York, you can also participate in Reiki Fridays to like give it a shot. I know distance Reiki is totally a thing, and you can totally do it. And if you don't feel like you want to leave your house for whatever reason, there's lots of good reasons to not leave our house right now. The virtual thing can also work too, in addition to the physical offering. So you can do a half-hour Reiki session, an hour-long Reiki session, half-hour tarot session, or a full-hour tarot session. Or you can do like a partial, right? Like you can do a little like one and the other.
Yeah, the combos are really fun. So that's when we do a tarot reading, and then we take the guidance from that reading into the Reiki session. So with Reiki sessions, you generally have an intention of like what you want to do, right? Mm-hmm. So for your session, Nicole, like the intention was to relax,
calm down.
And so that was the intention for the session, right? Some other, and there are different things that I do. Every Reiki practitioner is different in how they work. I do a lot of times I'll do like chakra clearings and that sort of thing, which is a whole other conversation.
Okay. But like if you're watching this and you're like, I don't know, like you've had some barriers thinking about like, but you think you're sort of interested in trying it. Like this is a low key way to try it out. You can come to Anchorspace and work for the day if you want, and then have your session sometime during the day. You can just stop in, do your session and peace out. Like just think of this as like a way to try it out without, I guess, feeling like you're overcommitting to something, or like, it's a fun, I mean, festive might be too strong a word, but we have fun on Fridays.
It is fun.
And you get to hang out with Patti and I, which is like lovely, right? I mean, Patti during the session, and I'm just like out chilling doing my work. But yeah, so yeah, we thought Reiki Fridays, give it a shot. I just wanted to see Patti once a week at least, so that was my cheap ploy to do that. But yeah.
One of the things that like I have worked with skeptics who are like, I don't know what you're doing, I don't know what this is, but like, let's give me what you got, right? Mm-hmm. I have, and different people feel different things too. Like some people are really sensitive, and so they can actually feel the energy. Some people feel vibrations. Some people, I actually had a client earlier this week that was a distance client, virtual. Okay. They're like hours away. And I usually ask like, how do you feel? Is there anything you want to share? And like this person was like, I actually felt vibrations like on and off throughout the session. Okay. And then some people don't feel anything, but
I guys, I didn't feel anything, but I felt better. Like I didn't feel, like I didn't,
And at the very least, everybody, even the people who were like, I don't do this woo-woo stuff, everybody that I have worked with has come away feeling at the very least more relaxed and like in a better place. They just feel better.
Right. And, I think Patti, and part of the reason that she's not going to push stuff on you that you're not like, she's going to start doing weird stuff or whatever, which I think, no, it's like, okay, I'm telling you these things because these are the concerns I had before I ever, you know what I mean? I know as someone who doesn't really know anything about this, right? I had all these misconceptions about what had to happen, or like it was going to be weird, or like someone was going to touch me, or like, so I was thinking like some people who are watching this who are like, I don't know, Reiki. What is like a misconception about Reiki or tarot, or even both, that you could potentially clear up today as somebody who's watching?
Most of the most assumptions, I think, are made out of fear. A lot of the resistance that I've had, especially with tarot readings, is people don't want to know. They don't want to know, and that's okay. There are certain readings and readers who who do those kinds of readings. My readings, and the like the fortune telling, and the like, on Tuesday you're gonna meet this person wearing a blue sweater, like that's not the kind of readings that I do. I work a lot on personal growth and development, and so I'm not gonna just like unload a bunch of scary news on you, and I think that's a fear that a lot of people have. Another fear is that, or why people resist this sort of thing, is because they don't want to do the work. So they don't want to do the work. They don't want to change. They don't want to, and that's what happens when you learn something about yourself, about your situation, about your desires. A lot of people don't even want to, like, they don't want to think about what they want, because once you acknowledge that you want something, then you're responsible for it, right? Then you're responsible for like making it happen or letting it go.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's the usual like resistance that I get, I guess. Sorry, going back to misconceptions. Yeah, I think people, they just think that it's going to be some offhanded like death sentence, for tarot, or that Reiki, I don't even know. I think it's just lack of understanding of what it is and what they can expect to get out of it. And they just don't really understand the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's like, yeah, you wouldn't go into like an acupuncture session without realizing that, like, okay, they're going to stick a bunch of needles in me.
It's right? True. Yeah. And there's plenty of information out there to kind of, for people to see how it works. And just like any other like modality, whether you're picking a therapist or like a mental health therapist or something else, like obviously you're going to work better with certain people than other, and it's part of that is finding, finding like, yeah, exactly. So I know, I guess I didn't realize that about stuff like this, and I thankfully my first mental health therapist was great, but like just kind of putting it out there that like, you're not going to necessarily, you got to find somebody that you get along well with.
Right. Yeah.
To get the most benefits. And yeah, that it's not like Patty's not going to make you join a cult or like, I don't know.
No.
Yeah. It's like very like routine stuff. And if you think about, like, we hear about meditation and mindfulness and all that, and it all kind of works together. And we see that there's actual benefits from some of these, these practices. We have a comment actually. Let me just put this on the screen here. Okay. Shannon, I went to Reiki Friday Anchorspace the first week Patty offered it. It's a great space. Can't wait to visit again and do some work there. So yeah. Yay, Shannon. Thanks for watching. So yeah, we remember, like I said, we chill, we get our vibe on, and then we head into the weekend, which is awesome. So yeah, we appreciate people like Shannon coming in, giving it a shot. Cause that's the thing with Anchorspace too. I'm trying to like tell people like, yeah, if you have an office business, that's totally fine. Like, yeah, I use the internet and all that too, but we support other kinds of businesses too. And then people like Patty and I can meet up, we can collaborate on fun things and all that. So something that I've always wanted to ask you, Patty. Okay, ready? So I wouldn't say I'm necessarily like an empath. Like I've heard that term before. I wouldn't necessarily use that term on myself, but I'm definitely sensitive to other people's energy. And when I'm totally stressed out, like the last week that I saw you before I took a vacation and I was all like stressed out, I felt myself being like kind of a jerk. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, my bad energy is like, eh. So as somebody who works with energy, how do we not take on other people's stuff? How do we keep our own good energy going? Like, what are some tips you have for us lay people who are not Reiki masters like you?
This is actually a kind of a two-sided question.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. So there's two parts to this.
That's true.
There is the part where, yes, we take on other people's energy. It's just, it happens. And it's like, have you ever walked into a room and you're just like, whoa, you could cut the tension with a knife?
Yeah. And I don't want to be creating that for other people, especially being in a co-working space. Like if someone comes into work, I don't want them to be like, oh, Nicole's stressed out, I don't want to be here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is, and it takes a lot of awareness, right? You need to be aware when you start to feel that. And all energy work involves intention. So if you really just set the intention of like, okay, I'm letting go of all this energy that is not mine. I'm letting go of everything that does not belong to me. It's not mine. Just let it go. That is like, and if you, constantly, or you give yourself, a few minutes to just breathe through that intention, that's a good way to let go of other people's energy that you have taken on. You can also protect yourself for those who are visual people. If you could give yourself a few moments to just sit, take a few deep breaths, and envision yourself being wrapped in white light that is intended to protect you from other people's energy. It kind of acts like as a energetic force field to keep that energy out. Also, the other side of this is being responsible for your own energy. So you want to make sure that you are not kind of spewing your energy out, or your stress or tension out, and leaving it as kind of like an energetic residue in the room as well. So there's awareness of when you're taking on other people's energy, but there's also awareness of the energy that you are giving out as well.
Okay, so some of this is us kind of being aware and maybe not taking actions that would place my energy on another person.
People. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like when you noticed you were kind of like a little.
Yeah, I feel like I was being a giant jerk, and I didn't know how to not be a jerk because we were like sharing a workspace together, right? So like,
well, I didn't think you were being a jerk, but it was clear that you had stressful moments, right? But you were aware of that. And so when you're conscious of that, you can kind of step back, take a breath, and kind of recenter yourself to be like, okay, this is not who I want to be to these other people. And then you come to me for a Reiki session.
Get rid of all the buildup. Yeah. Okay.
I think awareness of it really is a huge part, and okay. Resetting your intention to like, okay, I only want to give my best to other people. Part of that is recognizing like when you need to take a break, when you need to step away, when it's like, okay, this is no longer constructive. Yeah. I need to shift to something different.
Yeah, and that was a big part, I think, of me like starting to work for myself years ago, was like, I don't mind working, but like being able to just take a break when I need to, like when my arms start hurting or whatever, and being able to just go, being able to just go somewhere else, or like to just take a little 15-minute thing and then coming back. I don't know. That was just really valuable to me. It definitely made me like feel more in control of my life and my health in a lot of ways. So yeah.
And that taking that time is really a lot more valuable than not taking that time. Some people are very like, oh, I don't have time. I just don't have the 5 minutes to take a breath,
Right.
But that 5 minutes, or even 2 minutes, or even like 3 breaths, 3 deep breaths, taking that moment can save you so much time. A task that would have taken you 3 hours maybe only takes you an hour and a half, because you took that time to chill out, clear your space, clear your mind.
Yeah. And And it's always times that you really don't feel like you can take that, in our other space, and we sort of, people stopped showing up, so we sort of stopped doing it. But we had meditation on Wednesdays at noon. It was just open to the public and people could just drop in. And it was funny because like part of me would say, okay, I hope nobody comes. And then somebody would come and I'd be like, but then it was always the days I felt I was too busy to do a, 20-minute like sit. But then afterward, I felt so much, I was like, okay, that was probably good to do. I'm glad I took that time for myself. Because I think the nature is to power through and to like buck up and to, keep calm and carry on or whatever. But sometimes like, I mean, a little walk around the block is like really resetting or whatever. So,
and I think that's one thing that the pandemic has given us too, is like, especially with so many people working from home, it's like, oh yeah, taking those few minutes to step away from the desk when you don't feel like you could do that at an office or, in our old situation, right? But in this new world, there's like real recognition that taking those few minutes to step away, clear your energy, let go of other people's,
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, Patti, thank you so much. And you guys, Patti was kind enough to offer us something. So the first person, so if you're watching this live, you're going to like get this benefit. The first person to email Patti with the subject line "free session" will get a free session from Patti. Right? Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah. Okay. At a Reiki Friday.
And during Reiki Friday, right? And so the first person to email her email address is on the screen, and I'll leave it on there. And just to let you guys know, you can just book your, of course, I'm in the freaking editor. You can go to Reiki Fridays. You can book your appointment. There is a booking button right on there. But also, you guys, if you want to just book a session with Patti directly, if you're like, oh no, this woman is legit, because she is, you can go to her website, phoenixmoonenergy.com/purchase, and you can book a session right on her website. Like you don't have to send her 150 emails asking about if she's free on Tuesday and what time on Tuesday and like da-da-da. And so you can just book it and then you're done. But you can also, like, if you want to do regular stuff, you can get one of her subscriptions. So,
and if you scroll down below
scroll. Yeah.
So this is new this year, actually.
The
subscription. So this is a monthly subscription for folks. A lot of my clients are actually monthly clients. So I thought this was a good thing to start. And it's monthly sessions. It's all automatic. So we'll book your next session for the next month. And it's for those who are really committed to their personal growth and wellness. And it's, oh man, I've just seen so much progress in my clients, and they just are feeling so much better and living their best life. And so I highly recommend monthly sessions. And this is a really easy way to do it by doing the subscription.
Right. And, just as a reminder too, if you're just watching this and you're like, oh, I'm kind of interested, that's where Reiki Fridays can come in. You can come on over, have a cup of coffee, Patti, or a tea. We have tea too. Patti can work on you and you can work on yourself, because I think that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
And and so we're doing this fun thing. We're committed to doing it for at least the next month or so. So, people are stopping in and inquiring. So feel free to pick a time. Like I said, Patti's around 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Fridays at Anchorspace Potsdam, but you can also obviously book a Zoom session, no problem, if you want to stay virtual. And and protect and improve your energy in 2021, because it's a new year, guys. Lucky us. Anything else you want to say in closing, Patti?
I love that this work is so important, especially this year, because it's a lot of like, okay, now what? Right? That's a common question of like, now what? And this is it, having this kind of guidance and clarity really helps people to move forward in a positive direction. So
yeah, we could definitely use that. So thanks so much, Patti. And those of you who want to get a hold of Patti, or if you're watching this and you're like, okay, I want to get in on it, the first person to email you, and she will look at the timestamp. Okay. She's not going to, the first person to email Patti will get a free session during Reiki Friday, whether it's this coming 1, whether it's next week, whatever, the Friday.
Yeah, we can work it out for a
Yeah.
time that works for you. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Patty. Nice to talk
Thank
to
you,
you.
Nicole. Yes, thanks.
All right. And have a great day. And we'll see you guys all next week. Take care and stay safe and healthy.